Hello everybody, my name is Jordan Schutz and I currently work at MuleSoft as a developer advocate. I'm really excited to show off my game that I created using the Phaser.js open source HTML5 game engine and MuleSoft's Anypoint platform. And I called the game Mule Coin Collector. For this game, I'm using MuleSoft's Flow Designer, which allows you to build integrations in your web browser in a really easy to use format. However, if you want to build the same integration, you can also download Anypoint Studio, which is available for a free download on MuleSoft.com/studio. So in this game, you can move Max the Mule around with the left and right arrow keys, and the objective is actually to collect the coins that fall from the ceiling. So when you actually collect a coin, on the front end, you basically send an XHR request to CloudHub, which is where the backend is being hosted for our application. So once the backend receives that post request, basically consumes that post request, we grab the most recent value from the object store, which is whatever value has been stored last in the database, and then it's actually going to add 1 to that most recent value. So in this case, our global coin collected count is 455, and once we collect another coin, it's going to increment that score by 1, so it should go up to 456. So to basically showcase how this works, let's actually go to our flow. And in Flow Designer, we created an HTTP listener, which is essentially listening to the path message for a post request. So when it receives a post request from the XHR, which is actually created here in the JavaScript code, we have a post request and we pass a key and a value in that request, and we post it to this URL, which this URL right here is what's being listened to. And so then once we actually receive that post request with that data, with the key and the value, we read that payload and then we convert that payload into JSON. So currently it's reading it as a string, so we need to convert that into JSON so that way we can pull the information out of the payload and do something with that information. So in this case, we're actually going to be setting a variable, and so payload.value is going to be the value field, which is located here in the body message. And then obviously key is going to be the same thing. This is the key that we're going to use to look up the value in the object store. So when we get to the object store, what we're going to do is the first step is to retrieve the most recent value in the object store. So we're going to look up the most recent value by vars.key, which we set here, which in this case, with this packet of information, it's called coin count. So that's the key we're looking up, is coin count. And if there is no current value in the object store, we're essentially going to set it to 0. So object stores are known also as KV stores. They're one of the two of the same thing, and essentially it's used a lot in applications that need to store small amounts of data. And next up, we have the ObjectStore Connector, and we're actually going to look up this connector by vars.key, which is the same key that we use to retrieve the most recent value. And then in DataWeave, we're going to make sure that our output is application JSON, and we're actually going to sum up the value of the payload that we retrieved alongside with the value that was sent in the packet of information from the post request. So in this case, the value is 1. So we're going to iterate by 1 from whatever the current payload is and store that as a new value. So hopefully this was a good glimpse on how the ObjectStore Connector works in both Flow Designer and Anypoint Studio. Essentially, when that initial post message is called, the flow will actually return the client with the most recent value that has been stored in the object store, which is pretty cool, and that's what makes our game interactive and real time with people from around the globe. If you found this demo helpful, reach out to us at MuleDev if you have any further questions. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great one. Bye-bye.